Denver Cougars and your Dodge City A's.
It is host family recognition night,
each of our host families,
and we will throw it down to the field to listen to where our players stayed and the host families that are such an integral part of the A's organization.
Helped provide many meals throughout the season and supported them at their games along the way. Thank you to all our host families. Now, if you'll direct your attention to the field, we would like to recognize each of the host families and their player. Carson Rep is hosted by Roger Hedrick. Please give them a hand as they walk out if they're here. Aiden Ruiz is hosted by Chris and Martha Conradi. Ryan Pinio is hosted by Monica and Ryan Moore. Jake Vassell and Kevin Hammond, hosted by Zach and Brittany Shipley. Caden Stewart and Edward Gregory Jr., hosted by Marcy and Jeff Taylor. Blake Coleman and Zach Hoskins, hosted by Kamala Hartzler. Jaden Andrade, Devin Polk, and Ethan Kang and Jacoby Radcliffe, hosted by Debbie and Jeff Olson. Dominic Roberts is hosted by Terry and Carrie Trent. Amari McGowan is hosted by Cliff and Blake Cook. Kane Carlos, hosted by Delisa and Jacoby Collins. Eric Mendoza, hosted by Jesse and Keisha Mendoza. Or tolerated, because he has to live there with mom and dad. Paxton Huff and Edwin Silverio, hosted by Ben and Debbie Kennedy. Remington Miller and Mackay Johnson, hosted by Ryan and Laura Miller. Cade Colbreth and Justin Cruz, hosted by Kendall and Shauna Pennick. Ryan Buckley, hosted by Amber and Mark Shelton. Francis O'Connor, Jaden Marino, and Ryan Young are hosted by Dale and Margie Cunningham, Avery and Ruby. Isaiah Velasco, hosted by Mike and Summer Bates. Nolan Huff, hosted by Brian and Melissa Huff. Coaches Jeremiah McCollum and Willem Allen are hosted by Candace Whitman along with Matt Perez. Jace Gifford, hosted by Jay and Wendy Gifford. And Carson Lindsay, hosted by Chad and Marissa Kelly. One more time, everyone, please give a very loud round of applause to each other and for yourselves for all you do for the A's. Thank you for your support.
The A's would like to thank all of our host families that do so much for our organization for opening their homes to our players to make it possible to have Dodge City A's baseball. That was host family recognition and all of the wonderful hosts that open up their houses for our players throughout the summer. We'll take a step aside. We'll come back with starting lineups and first pitch after this. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Welcome in to Cavalier Field. First pitch thrown down at 6:03 p.m. Dylan Whitfield gets the lead off tonight for the Denver Cougars. Whitfield, even in the count at 1, it's Remington Miller. He gets the start tonight on the mound for the Dodge City A's. It is the final game of the series between the Cougars and A's. The A's, they've already wrapped up the league portion of play with the Denver Cougars. They won the league series 4-1. Pitch bounces ahead of home plate, and that will even the count at 2. So the 2-2 pitch, it's swung on and missed. The first out of the ball game as he goes down on strikes. That'll bring up Tyler Swan. Swan actually spent some time on the mound. Pitched in last night's game. He went an inning and a third, allowed 4 hits. 5 runs were scored, walked 1 and struck out 1. The 1-0 pitch from Miller. Swan fouls it back, and it'll even the count at 1. Nobody on and 1 away for the Denver Cougars as we play in a non-league contest, the final contest between the A's and Cougars for this season. Hard to believe that the season is starting to wrap itself up. The A's will have a day off tomorrow, and then they will play the final 2 games against the Game Day Angels. One on Tuesday and one on Wednesday. They'll play their final game against the Colorado Rough Riders on Thursday. They'll come back home. They play the Liberal BJs Friday and Saturday. That will be the final game in league play. And then they will play their final league game overall on Monday next week. The week after, actually. So Monday the 21st will be the final game of the season for the Dodge City A's. Swan goes down swinging, and that'll bring up Caden Trujillo. So back-to-back strikeouts and 2 away now for the Denver Cougars. Trujillo played in last night's game against the A's. Trujillo hit in the 8-hole. Went 0 for 2 officially with a hit by pitch. Trujillo ahead in the count, 1-0. Miller misses and makes it 2 balls and no strikes. Miller misses high on that one, and Trujillo is ahead in the count, 3-0. We had our host family recognition earlier tonight, so you can go back and replay the first part of this broadcast and see all of the wonderful host families that open their houses for our players that makes Dodge City A's possible. Caden Trujillo draws a walk, and that will bring up Riley Hall.
First baseman, number 25, Riley Hall.
Hall was the first baseman last night. He is again tonight. He moves up 1 spot in the lineup as he's hitting cleanup, and he'll hit a single out into left field. That'll put runners on at first and second. So with 2 on and 2 away, that will bring up the 5-hole hitter. It's Carter Olick. Olick moves down in the lineup. He was the 2-hole hitter last night. Moving down into the 5-hole tonight. Olick was the 3rd baseman, gets the half night off tonight as he is the designated hitter. Pitch from Miller misses high. Counts 1 ball and no strikes. Olick fouls that one. It goes out of play.
Foul balls are the property of the Dodgers.
That'll even the count at 1.
Get them back to the concession stand as quickly as possible, and they'll pay you $1.
Olick last night goes 1 for 4 officially. His lone hit was a solo shot over the left field wall. Send one out into right field, or center field rather. Paxton Huff there to haul that one down, and that will end the inning. The Cougars strand 2, and we're headed to the bottom of the first. It'll be the top of the order due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. King Carlos set to lead off, the Eastern Arizona product. Takes a first pitch strike. So he'll foul that one back, and Carlos quickly down in the count 0-2. O2 delivery coming. It is Evan Peterson that gets the start on the mound tonight for the Denver Cougars. Righty gets Carlos to foul off another one, and count remains 0-2. Peterson an undecided. It's a right-handed pitcher. Carlos makes contact, a line drive at the first baseman Hall, and that is the first out of the inning. 1-1 the count to Blake Coleman. Comes up empty on the offering. Finds himself down in the count 1-2. Sorry. 1-2 delivery. Grounded back up the middle. The shortstop gets to it. Keeping his foot on the bag is Hall, and that is out number 2. So that'll bring in Mekhi Johnson. Kai takes a pitch high and inside. He moves ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Johnson takes called strike, catches the outer edge of the zone, and it evens a count at 1. The 1-1 delivery from Peterson will miss. Makes it 2-1. Peterson works from the first base side of the rubber. Johnson drives it up the left field line, and it stays fair. Rolls all the way almost to the wall, and he'll be on with a single. So that'll bring in Isaiah Velasco. Velasco, a graduate from Post University. He takes the first pitch that misses. Ball number 1. Mekhi Johnson, a redshirt sophomore, not currently committed anywhere. He'll take off, and he's over at second. A 2-0 count now to Isaiah Velasco. Johnson gets a lead off of second. Velasco takes a called strike, catches the outer part of the zone, and moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Peterson, he'll take a long look back at second. Delivers in, and it misses outside. Makes it 3-1 to Velasco. Velasco had himself a night at the plate last night. Officially going 3 for 5, 2 doubles and a single. Velasco comes up empty on the swing. It runs the count full. So we'll see a payoff pitch now from Peterson. A's have 1 on and 2 away. They like to do damage with 2 outs. See if they can do a little bit here and get on the scoreboard early. The pitch misses low. That'll put runners on at first and second now for the A's. Bring up Ryan Buckley. Buckley, a Lake Erie product. Was a redshirt sophomore at Lake Erie College this last spring. Buckley's been in and out of the lineup primarily as a DH. He's serving at first base tonight, so getting some position time in. Buckley, he'll take the first pitch he sees, fouls it off to the right. Falls down in the count, 0-1. 0-1 delivery from Peterson. Buckley sends it through the left side. Here comes Johnson rounding third. The left fielder bobbles it. So that'll put runners so 2-run score, and the A's lead it 2-0 early. So that'll bring up Paxton Huff. Huff even in the count now at 1. Paxton, a junior from Prairie View A&M. The 1-1 pitch from Peterson. It misses low. Gets behind the catcher Nutter, and Huff ahead in the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch is wild, and that'll score a run. That brings Buckley home, and the A's lead it 3-0. Count 3-1 to Huff. So the A's, they've scored 3 runs with 2 outs. Three-one delivery coming up from Peterson. He'll deliver low, and that will be another walk to bring in Edwin Silverio. The A's, they'll send their 7th batter to the plate. Silverio's taken some time off after he was hurt in a game earlier in the season. Silverio committed. It will be a sophomore this fall at Ave Maria University. Comes from Orlando, Florida. Takes a first pitch ball from Peterson and is ahead in the count 1-0. O'Connor, Whitfield, and Gillum left to right in the outfield for the Denver Cougars. Runner goes. Pitch was in for a strike. The throw down to second, not in time. Pitch misses low and inside to Silverio. Huff at second after he stole over on the last pitch. 2-1 delivery coming from Peterson. He's thrown 28 pitches here in the bottom of the first. It gets away from the catcher Nutter, and that'll move Huff over to third. Pitch was low. It looked like it bounced off of his knee guards. Count 3-1. Pearson takes a deep breath, studies and fires in. It hits Silverio. That'll bring up the catcher, Kevin Hammond. Hammond, the 8th batter to come to the plate here in the bottom of the first. The A's lead it 3-0. They have runners on the corners, and that will bring up a mound visit from the Denver Cougars. And the Cougars, they're going to make a pitching change. So the day is done for Peterson. He'll go 2/3 of an inning, but is still responsible for 2 runners on. We'll take this opportunity. Let's thank our Grand Slam sponsors, the City of Dodge City and Ford County, the Community Foundation of Southwest Kansas, Lewis Automotive Group, and Curbs Law Office, LLC. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. So the Cougars make a pitching change. I want to say it might be Alden Quintanilla taking over the mound. Indeed it is. Alton Quintanilla will take over the mound for the Denver Cougars. We'll take a step aside for a minute, come back after this. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Well, the A's have some guest announcers up here helping announce the players, some of the Youth A's members, some of the host family children as well. The first pitch to Hammond is high for ball one, and Silverio takes off for second. He's in safely. A 1-0 count to Kevin Hammond, the freshman from Lipscomb University. Pitch is in, called strike, as Alden Quintanilla takes over the mound for the Denver Cougars. Quintanilla, an undecided, comes from California, and that will be in. It hits Hammond, and that loads the bases. Bases loaded with two away, and the A's have sent their entire order to the plate now with Jake Vassell. So the A's are going to send their courtesy runner. It's going to be Zach Hoskins. Hammond was lipping a little bit, so we'll see if the A's might make a change at catcher in the next half inning. We'll keep an eye on that one. Either way, it's Zach Hoskins out doing the running for Hammond with bases loaded, two away. The pitch from Quintanilla will miss outside. Count 1-0 to Vassell. Vassell, another Lake Erie product. Come up empty on the swing, and that evens the count at 1. So it's Huff at third, Silverio at second, and now Hoskins at first with this bases loaded jam that the Cougars find themselves in. And Vassell's ahead in the count, 2-1 strike. It's a non-league contest between the A's and Cougars tonight. They've already won the league series 4-1. Vassell comes up empty on the offering from Quintanilla, and it evens the count at 2. It's Deuces Wild across the top of the scoreboard. Time is called. Quintanilla steps off the mound and take a quick walk around the backside of the mound. Quintanilla, the lefty, he works from the third base side of the rubber. He'll come set. Delivers a 2-2 pitch. It's up the middle. Cut off. Oh, no, it doesn't make contact. That'll score a run. Here comes the second. The throw home is cut off on the infield. A's have runners at first and second, and they lead the game 5-0. So with Runners at first and second. The A's turn the lineup over. We're back at the top of the order with Kane Carlos. So the A's have batted around in the inning. They've scored 5 runs. Most of those runs have come with 2 outs. Actually, all of the runs came with 2 outs. The pitch gets away from the catcher Nutter, and that'll move both runners over to second and third now. Ahead in the count, 1-0 is Carlos. He'll take a called strike. It evens the count at 1. So Carlos down in the count, 1-2. Pitch high and outside, and that evens the count. It's deuces wild again across the scoreboard. All 5 runs have been scored with 2 outs. Carlos sends one. It's up the third base line. The third baseman takes it on the fielder's choice. Pitch was fair to Blake Coleman. It goes clear out into left field. And that'll score another run. Coleman in with a double. So that brings up Mekhi Johnson on an 0-1 pitch, and he flies out to the shortstop Swan, and the A's will end the inning. They lead the ball game 7-0. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Finn O'Connor leads off for the Denver Cougars. He sends one at the shortstop, Carlos. He tries to cut it off, but doesn't quite come up with it. A leadoff single has a runner aboard for the Cougars. That will bring in Ian Laird. The A's lead it, well, A's Lawmen lead it 7-0. Laird ahead in the count, 1 and no strikes. Remington Miller, he's back on the mound for his second inning of work. The A's, well, they've already gotten into the Denver bullpen. Denver has another pitcher down in the bullpen now. Laird down, or evens a count at 1 as he fouls a pitch up the first base line. Remington Miller, he'll deliver high and inside, gets Laird to scamper back, and Miller, he has a 2-2 record on the mound for the Dodge City A's. Laird ahead in the count, 2-1. Laird pops that one up. It's up the elevator chute. I'm not even sure where that one went. Falls foul and out of play. That one left in a hurry, and I didn't even see it. Either way, it evens a count at 2. The 2-2 delivery from Miller. This is high, and the count runs full. Miller's making his 7th appearance for the Dodge City A's. Laird pops that one up again, and it will fall foul beside the A's dugout. The count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming. Remy, he pitched last on July the 4th against the Liberal BJs. He actually took the loss in that ball game. He went 4 innings, allowing 8 runs. He has a 11.01 ERA on the season as that pitch is driven over the left field wall. It's a 2-run shot for Laird, and the Cougars are on the board. They trail at 7-2. Nobody out here in the top of the second. That'll bring up the catcher, Jackson Nutter. Nutter, he'll take first pitch outside. Pitch is called strike. Nutter checked his swing. Called strike. It evens a count at 1. The A's, they have Velasco, Huff, and Coleman left to right in the outfield. Miller bounces it ahead of home plate. Nutter ahead in the count, 2-1. Johnson, Carlos, Silverio, and Buckley third to first across the infield. Kevin Hammond, the catcher behind home plate. Remington Miller completes the battery for the Dodge City A's. Nutter comes up empty on the offering and evens a count at 2. The 2-2 is left high, a front door bender that didn't quite bend enough. Count runs full. Payoff pitch from Miller coming up. Delivers. Called strike on the outer edge. It freezes Nutter. And that is the first out of the inning as it brings in Braden Gillum. Gillum, the right fielder. The
At the plate, the right fielder, number 17.
Cougars completing their first trip through the batting order. Miller misses outside. It gets clear back to the backstop. Gillum ahead in the count 1-0. Gillum grounds that one foul. It's up the third baseline. Evens a count at 1. Remy's longest outing, it came against the Colorado Rough Riders, a 6-inning outing back on June the 15th. Pitch misses outside. Gillum moves ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody on and 1 away for the Cougars. They've scored 2 here in the top of the second. The pitch swung on and foul tipped. It evens a count at 2. Miller has struck out 16. His season high came against the Great Bend Batcats back on June the 1st. He got the start on Lawman night here at Cavalier Field that night. Pitch was fouled off. The count remains 2-2. Miller's pitch, he'll miss low and outside, and that will run the count full. Payoff pitch. He'll come set. Delivers in. It's grounded to the third baseman, Johnson. The throw across the diamond in time, and that is the second out of the inning. So that'll turn the lineup over back to Dylan Whitfield. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He struck out his last time up. 2 away for the Cougars. We're in the top of the second. Whitfield makes contact, sends it out to left field, played off the hop. Does Velasco, and the Cougars have a runner aboard. So that'll bring up Tyler Swan, who went down swinging in his first at bat. Miller at 41 pitches now in the ball game. 22 have been in for strikes, but he misses outside there. Swan will move ahead in the count 1-0. The pitch, it's grounded up the middle, cut off by Carlos. They'll go to second for the force out, and that'll do it for the top of the second. We're headed to the bottom of the second. Velasco, Buckley, and Huff due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Isaiah Velasco leads off in the bottom of the second for the Lawmen. So one on and nobody out, and that brings up Ryan Buckley. The A's, they sent 12 to the plate in the bottom of the first. They lead the game 7-2 right now. Buckley is ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Alden Quintanilla took over the mound after the starter Peterson went 2/3 of an inning. Pitch missed a little high. Buckley might have a little turf in his eye. We'll go back to work. It is a 2-0 count to Ryan Buckley. He singled his last time up. 2-0 delivery. Neil take a look over at first. He leaves a breaking ball high that didn't apply the brakes hard enough. Ahead in the count, 3-0. Quintanilla comes set, delivers, yanks it inside, and Buckley draws the 4-pitch walk. That'll put runners on first and second with nobody out. And here comes the Cougars head coach. He points to the bullpen. They're making a pitching change. We'll take this opportunity. Let's thank our home run sponsors, Cargill Meat Solutions, Lauren Dahl, I Don't Care Family Restaurant and Sports Bar LLC, Parker Haskins Insurance Incorporated, TCBP LLC, Jimmy John's, the Victory Electric Cooperative Association Incorporated, and Forgone Financial LLC, Koch Fertilizer, Deriva Energy, and Rabine Brothers. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. So we'll take a step aside to tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Nate Huiskin will take over the mound for the Dodge City A's. He faces off against Paxton Huff, who walked on his last time up. The A's have runners on first and second with nobody out. Huff, even in the count at 1, Huiskin delivers a strike inside and gets Huff down in the count 1-2. Another pitcher in the bullpen for the Denver Cougars, and he just missed wildly up against the fence. Huiskin yanks one outside and evens the count at 2. Two delivery, swung on and missed. Huff goes down on strikes. One away for the Dodge City A's. That'll bring up Edwin Silverio. Silverio, he was hit by pitch his last time up. So the A's with one out. Flasco at second. Buckley at first. Pitch was low, gets through the catcher's legs, and that moves runners over to second and third. One out count to Silverio. He'll send one through the left side. That'll score a run. I'll put the stop sign on at third, and that puts runners on the corners with one away. RBI single for Edwin Silverio. So that'll bring up Kevin Hammond. He was hit by pitch his last time up. Hammond, the 8-hole hitter. The A's trying to complete their second trip through the batting order. Hammond makes contact, sends one. It's going out into center field. Tracking it is Whitfield. He'll pull it down. The throw home is cut off on the infield. It scores Buckley. So an RBI sac fly for Kevin Hammond.
Next up for the lob, the DH number 31, Jake Vassell.
So the Lawmen lead it 9-2. That brings in Jake Vassell at the bottom of the order for the Lawmen. Ball gets out of the Cougars bullpen. Huiskin delivers a strike over the outer half of the plate. Gets Vassell down in the count 0-1. The A's are completing their second trip. Throw over to first is wild. It gets into the Cougars bullpen. Silverio rounding second. He'll get to third safely on the throwing error by the pitcher. So we'll go back to work. Vassell down in the count 0-1. He'll take a swing and comes up empty. Falls down in the count 0-2. A's lead the game 9-2. 9 runs on 6 hits so far for the Dodge City A's. Huiskin on the mound. He stands on the first base side of the rubber. The pitch called strike, and that will end the inning. Vassell gets caught looking, and we're headed to the top of the third. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Caden Trujillo leads off in the top of the third for the Cougars. He's down in the count 0-2. Makes contact, sends it to the shortstop. Carlos, throw to first in time. One away for the Cougars. Trujillo walked on his last time up. That'll bring up Riley Hall. Hall singled the first time he was at the plate. It's 3, 4, and 5 in the Cougars batting order due up here. They trail 9-2. We're in the top of the third. Hall takes a pitch inside and low. Miller, he's back out for his third inning of work. He's thrown 47 pitches so far in the ball game. One-0. Hall makes contact, flies out into center field. Pulling it down is Huff. We got a guy there, and that is out number 2. That'll bring up Carter Olick. Olick flew out to Huff his last time up.
Next up, the DH, number 8, Carter Olick.
2 away quickly here in the top of the third. Pitch misses a little high for ball number 1. The Cougars, they would go down 1-2-3 in the first 3 innings last night. That pitch was fouled off. It evens a count at 1. Cougars would actually, they would get a runner on in the second via a single by Finn O'Connor, but he would be caught stealing in the next at bat. So unconventionally, they went down 1-2-3. Pitch is grounded to the shortstop. Carlos, throw to first in time, and that is the third out of the inning. The Cougars, they go down 1-2-3. We're headed to the bottom of the third. It's the top of the order due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Bottom of the third, we have Kane Carlos leading off for the Boot Hill Lawmen. Carlos, he'll take a swing, comes up empty. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. Carlos, he's batting .265 on the season. A one from Huiskin. It's high. Carlos had to duck down. I'm not sure how it didn't hit him in the helmet. Oh, they say it's 0-2 count. That pitch hits Carlos, and that will put a runner on. So the A's, they have their leadoff aboard. to bring up Blake Coleman. Coleman, 1 for 2. He doubled his last time up. Coleman batting .346 on the season. A's are working their third trip through the batting order. They sent 12 to the plate in the bottom of the first, where they scored 7. They lead at 9-2 here in the bottom of the third. 1 on and nobody out. A pitch high and inside to Coleman, and he's ahead in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. Huiskin is the third pitcher of the ball game for the Denver Cougars. Coleman makes contact. It's popped up well up the elevator chute. It's being tracked on the third base side, and the shortstop Swan pulls it down for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up Mekhi Johnson. Johnson, he's 1 for 2 in the ball game. He flew out the last time he was up. Johnson climbing the batting order despite being a late addition to the Dodge City A's. He's batting .263 on the season. The pitch, he'll miss outside, does Huiskin. Huiskin already at 17 pitches after taking over in the last half inning for the Denver Cougars. They're on to their third pitcher of the ball game. The pitch misses inside, and Johnson's ahead in the count 2-0. Huiskin yanks a pitch outside. Johnson ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. A 3-0 delivery, called strike. It catches the outer edge of the zone, and count now 3-1. Johnson fouls the pitch off, and the count runs full. Johnson will go down on strikes as he gets caught swinging. Carlos steals over to second on the pitch. That'll bring up Isaiah Velasco with 2 away.
Next for the Llama, number 16, Isaiah Velasco.
Huiskin pitched against the Dodge City A's back on June the 21st. The second game of the series, as Velasco, he comes up empty on a big swing. He's 1 for 1. He singled his last time up. Velasco's batting .306 on the season. Saw that increase a little bit. Called strike, and Velasco's down in the count 0-2. The Denver Cougars, they won the very first game of the season back on June the 20th, and then the A's rattled off 4 wins against the Cougars since. Velasco makes contact, sends it foul and out of play to the left. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. So Huiskin, he pitched against the A's on the 21st. He went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, and walked 2 batters. The pitch misses outside, moves the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Huiskin also pitched on the 22nd, went 3 innings in that game, allowed 8 hits on 9 runs. All of them were earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Pitch low again, and It's Deuces Wild across the top of the scoreboard. Uskin steps on, working on the first base side of the rubber. Delivers in. He'll miss outside, and the count runs full. So after falling down in the count 0-2, patience is shown for Velasco. He's worked the count full. A payoff pitch here. Uskin steadies, delivers, runner goes. Velasco drives it up the middle. Here comes Carlos around third. He will score, and the A's have scored in every half inning so far in this ball game. They lead it 10-2.
Now batting number 10, Ryan Buckley.
So that'll bring up Ryan Buckley. Buckley 1 for 1. He walked on his last time up. He singled out into left field before that. Buckley, he's batting an even 200 on the season. Down in the count, 0-1. Lawmen have an 8-run lead early here against the Cougars. They've scored 7 in the first, 2 in the second. So far, 1 here in the bottom of the third. Velasco goes. It's driven up the middle. And they get the tag at second. That will complete the inning, and we are headed to the top of the fourth. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. One count to Finn O'Connor. That leads off here in the top of the fourth. He drives one out into left field, and the Cougars have a runner aboard. Remington Miller's back out now for his fourth inning of work, and that'll bring up Ian Laird. Laird, a home run in his first at bat, as the Cougars still working their second trip through the batting order. So it's O'Connor, Laird, and Nutter that are due up this inning. Pitch misses high. Laird ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. One 0 pitch. Miller misses low, and it Now 2 balls and no strikes to Laird. There's no work down in the A's bullpen. Actually, there's no work in either bullpen at this point. The 2-0 pitch from Miller is popped up the elevator chute. It's in play. The A's drop it and then overthrow it second. What are we doing? Well, that'll bring up Jackson Nutter. The Cougars, they have runners on at second and third after back-to-back errors in the same at-bat. Is that a So Nutter draws the 4-pitch walk, and that loads the bases. The Cougars are going to send their courtesy runner out. Christian Lopez will do the courtesy running for the Denver Cougars. The A's are going to have a quick mound visit. We have some more of our home run sponsors that we need to thank. United Wireless Communications, Dodge City Kenworth, and EDF Power Solutions. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. Well, bases loaded with nobody out, and that brings up Braden Gillum. The Cougars have a chance to cut deep into this deficit they find themselves in as Miller misses high for ball 1. He's out for his 4th inning of work. He's thrown 62 pitches so far. At pitch in, called strike, gathers the inner part of the zone. Evens a count at 1. Boy, if the Lawman can get out of this bases loaded jam, it would be nothing short of miraculous. Pitch low and outside there. Moves Gillum ahead 2-1. Miller fires in. Fouled. It evens a count at 2. The 2-2. Makes contact. It's out into center field. It falls in the gap. That'll score at least 1 run. Here comes the second. So runners now at first and second. 2-run score, and the Cougars cut into the lead. It's now 10-4 in favor of the Lawmen. Still nobody out. That will bring in Dylan Whitfield. Whitfield is 1 for 2. He singled his last time up. Takes a pitch high for ball 1. The Lawmen, they have Devon Polk down in the bullpen. Pitch inside. The throw down to first, not in time. Three balls and no strikes, the count to Whitfield. Cougars find themselves prized for the big inning here as pitch misses high and Whitfield draws a 4-pitch walk. Well, that was the 70th pitch of the ball game. That brings in Tyler Swan. Swan is 0 for 2. He hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. Here comes the head coach Jeremiah McCollum. He's probably making the call to the bullpen. There's been no indication yet. We're going to have a mound visit to talk a few things over. Not the best inning defensively for the Dodge City A's. Tell you how it unfolded. The A's, or the Lawmen, would get the Finn O'Connor would lead off the inning. He would single. And then an error that got Ian Laird on. It would also move the runners, both Laird and O'Connor, over to second and third. Nutter steps on. He draws a 4-pitch walk. And now a 4-pitch, sorry, not a 4-pitch walk. Braden Gillum singles. That drives in 2 runs. And then Dylan Whitfield draws the 4-pitch walk. Bases loaded again with nobody out. The 6th batter of the inning as Tyler Swan takes the first pitch strike. He'll come up empty on the offering there. He finds himself down in the count 0-2. Lawmen would like to try to stay out of the beginning. They've already given up 2 runs. They lead at 10-4. Swan fouls that pitch off, and count remains 0-2. The A's have just 1 home game remaining this season. That pitch back up the middle. They'll go back home. It's way overthrown, and that'll score a run on the fielder's choice. Caden Trujillo evens a count at 1. The lead has been cut in half. Pitch was fouled off. 2-2 the count to Trujillo. He throws the bat at it. They say, no, he did not go around, so the count runs full. Cougars have bases loaded with nobody away. 3 runs in the inning. Boy, you can't help but feel that this might not be a big inning for the Cougars. The payoff pitch misses low. It'll walk another run in. They've scored 4 in the inning. They trail it 10-6. Here comes head coach Jeremiah McCollum, so the A's will make the pitching change now. We'll tell you about it when we come back. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Jaden Andrade takes over the mound for the Dodge City A's / Boot Hill Lawmen. Pitch is popped foul and out of play. It evens a count at 1 to Riley Hall. So the 1-1 delivery from Andrade. He'll send one foul again. It's back over the press box, and Hall down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andrade has a 2-1 record on the mound for the Dodge City A's. Last pitched against the Liberal BJs back on July the 4th. making his 7th appearance. He'll miss with the pitch, and the count runs full. Nobody out for the Denver Cougars, and they've sent their 8th batter to the plate this inning. Well, he pitch misses outside, and that'll walk in another run. The Cougars, they've scored 5 in the inning. Definitely have the big inning going on here. They have batted around now as that brings in Carter Olick. Olick is 0 for 2. He grounded out his last time up.
Number 8, Carter Olick.
The A's led it 10-2 coming in to the top of the 4th. The Cougars have scored 5 so far in the inning. The pitch misses outside and makes it 1 ball and no strikes. Well, this game looked like it might end in a run rule, but now looks like it's going to end up being a slugfest as that pitch is popped up. It goes foul and out of play. It evens a count at 1. Almost an hour and a half into this ball game, and we're in the top of the 4th. Pitch over the head of Olick. Moves ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. The A's, they'll have the night off tomorrow night before taking to the road. They'll play 2 games at the Game Day Angels, Tuesday and Wednesday night, and play a game against the Colorado Rough Riders, and that pitch called strike evens the count at 2. Bases loaded with nobody out. The 9th batter of the inning at the plate. As that pitch is sent foul and out of play. Count remains 2-2. Well, the A's, they scored 7 runs with 2 outs back in the bottom of the 1st. The Denver Cougars, they've scored 5 so far in the top of the 4th with nobody out. Pitch misses inside, and the count runs full. Payoff pitch coming from Andrade. He works from the first base side of the rubber. He'll come set. Delivers. It's yanked outside, and that'll walk in another run. Well, the walks, they are aplenty here in this ball game. The Cougars have batted around, and that brings in Finn O'Connor, who has singled the last 2 times he's been at the plate. O'Connor led off the inning. He singled through the left side. He'll step on with bases loaded and nobody out. The Cougars have scored 6 in the top of the 4th now and trail by just 2 runs. First pitch misses high and inside for ball 1. Andrade struggling a little bit with keeping it in the zone. Devon Polk in the bullpen for the Dodge City A's. He gets a cold strike there. It evens the count at 1. Andrade misses high. Makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Called strike there. It catches enough of the outer part of the zone. It evens a count at 2. 10th batter of the inning and still nobody out. The pitch, it's popped up. It'll go foul and out of play. Count remains 2-2. Andrade yanks it ahead of home plate. Count runs full. Pitch is swung on and missed, and well, it just took 10 batters. We've finally got the first out of the inning as O'Connor goes down swinging, and that brings up Ian Laird. He got on an error earlier in the inning. One away with bases loaded. If there's ever a time for a double play ball, Lawman could desperately use one right now. The first pitch, Laird makes contact, fouls it to the right and out of play. He falls down in the count 0-1. Pitch is fouled. It gets back into Hammond, and oh, that does not feel good. The 0-2 delivery made contact. It's going to fly out into left field, tagging up the throw home. Not in time. It scores another run, but the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Jackson Nutter now for his second at bat of the inning. He walked on his last time up. 7 runs have scored here in the top of the fourth for the Denver Cougars. They trail by just 1. Pitch misses low to Nutter. Moves ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. One 0 pitch, low again. Nutter ahead 2-0. Nutter makes contact, sends it out into shallow right field. Here comes a run, and it is a tie ball game. The A's have given up 8 runs in the top of the fourth. We are tied at 10. That brings in Braden Gillum. He is 1 for 2. Runner goes. They tried to get the throw down to second to score another run. Pitch misses for ball 1. Runners now at second and third. Pitch misses, it's called strike on the inside part. It evens a count at 1. 20 combined runs, and we're not even out of the fourth inning yet. The pitch, called strike. Moves Gillum down in the count, 1-2. The pitch bounces ahead of home plate. The Cougars, they're going to have their first lead of the ball game. Oh, boy. So 1 run scores, and then the interference call will negate the second run. A 1-0 count to Paxton Huff. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Huff, he went down swinging his last time up. He's working their third trip through the batting order. We have a tie ball game. No runs. The last 2 runs did not score on the called interference at home plate. Half ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Pitch called strike. Hit 3-1. Half batting .213 on the season. Houston yanks it outside, and that'll put a runner aboard for the Lawmen. So the Lawmen, they have their leadoff aboard for Edwin Silverio.
Number 1, Edwin Silverio.
Silverio singled his last time up. No. Silverio, he's batting .225 on the season. The pitch low. Huff advances to second. It's hard to describe everything that has gone on in this ball game, much less describe the fact that there's been 20 combined runs, and we're just through the first 3.5 innings. Pitch was called strike. Silverio even in the count at 1. Pitch missed outside by Houston, and that moves Silverio ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch is called strike. Paxton steals over to third. The 2-2 pitch coming from Houston. Fouled off. Is a drop third strike. So it's a drop third strike that scores a run and puts Silverio on at first. Kevin Hammond down in the count 0-1. Makes contact. He sends a high fly ball out towards center field. It'll be pulled down by Whitfield for the first out of the inning.
At the plate, number 31, Jake Vassell.
So that'll bring up Jake Vassell. Hammond, by the way, he's batting .255 on the season. Vassell, a swing and a miss, comes up empty. Falls down in the count 0-1. The A's lawmen, they have scored in every half inning, and so that now means that Remington Miller will take the no decision. Vassell sends it to the third baseman. They'll throw across a diamond and make the out. So that'll bring up Kane Carlos. We're back at the top of the order for the Dodge City A's. Vassell, no batting average on the season. Carlos steps up. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Was hit by pitches last time up. He takes a called strike and is down in the count. Carlos, a pitch outside. It evens a count at 1. He'll go down to a knee on the swing and gets Carlos down in the count 1-2. The pitch, it gets down but foul. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. King Carlos had 15 stolen bases coming in to tonight's contest. He's also been hit by pitch 5 times. Pitch over his head. Might have hit the bat, I'm not sure. No, they wouldn't have allowed the advancement of the runner. So it was a high ball 2, and that moved Silverio over to third on the wild pitch. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. Lawmen lead at 11-10. The pitch is inside, and the count runs full to Carlos. Well, the Lawmen, they had their big inning in the bottom of the first. The Cougars, they had their big inning in the top of the fourth. The Lawmen have scored in every half inning, 7 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. So far, 1 in the fourth, and Carlos draws the walk. The payoff pitch misses high, and that'll put runners on the corners for Blake Coleman. Coleman, he's 1 for 3. He flew out his last time up.
Out to plate number 24, Blake Coleman.
Coleman, he has 7 bases on the season. He's also been hit by pitch 7 times. Count 1-0 to Blake Coleman. The 1-0 pitch coming from Houston. Coleman sends it foul to the left. Count evens itself at 1. Houston, he's thrown 54 pitches in relief. Coleman makes contact. It's a high fly ball. It's going to the left field wall, and it is gone. It is a 3-run shot for Blake Coleman, and the Lawmen now lead it 14-10. A 3-run shot over the left field wall. The A's/Lawmen have a 4-run lead again. 24 combined runs in the first 4 innings so far. That'll bring up Mekhi Johnson. Johnson steps on with 2 away. There again, the A's doing damage with 2 outs. The A's have scored 4 here in the bottom of the 4th. Johnson steps on. He's at 1 for 3. He went down swinging his last time up. He'll take a first pitch strike. Falls down in the count, 0-1. Mekhi Johnson, credit with 2 stolen bases. He's been hit by pitch 5 times already in the short time that he has been with the A's. Pitch was popped up. It falls foul in the Cougars dugout. Count falls to 0-2. So the 0-2 count now as Houston gets a new ball. We'll go to work. Houston on the first base side of the rubber, who fires in, swung on and missed. That will end the inning. We're headed to the top of the 5th. Lawmen lead at 14-10. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball.
Demonstration for us. If you've never been to one of their actual live performances, you should really check that out. It's really great. Fantastic. Give them a hand, everyone.
The world famous Boot Hill Gunfighters doing a quick show right here at Cavalier Field. The A's, they morph into the Boot Hill Llama, and it is in cooperation as part of the City Connect jerseys that the A's wear every Sunday here at Cavalier Field. We'll take a step aside, come back with the top of the fifth inning. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball.
Leading off for the Cougars, number 15, Dylan Whitfield.
Dylan Whitfield set to lead off for the Denver Cougars. Whitfield 1 for 2. He walked on his last time up. Cougars are starting their fourth trip through the batting order, and he'll take a first pitch called strike and falls down in the count 0-1. Jaden Andrade back on the mound for the Dodge City A's. Count evens itself at 1. Andrade, he's thrown 32 pitches in relief, and Whitfield fouls a pitch off and falls down in the count 1-2. That'll bring up Tyler Swan with one away. Pitch misses high to Swan, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. Andrade fires in. It gets Swan to swing. Comes up empty and evens a count at 1 apiece. Pitch comes up empty on the offering. It does Swan. He's down in the count 1-2. Andrade gets Swan to make contact. He pops it up. It's playable. Camped underneath it is Perez, and he'll pull it down in foul territory for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Caden Trujillo. He is 0 for 1. Trujillo drew a walk his last time up. He's actually walked on twice in the ball game.
Up next, number 13, Caden Trujillo.
Trujillo sends one. It's out into right field. Pulled in by Coleman out in right field, and a quick top of the fifth. We're headed to the bottom of the fifth. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Isaiah Velasco set to lead off for the Lawmen. Christian Lopez takes over the mound for the Cougars. We've entered the bottom of the fifth. The Lawmen lead it 14-10. Velasco's ahead in the count 1-0. Lopez, he works from the first base side of the rubber. The lefty throws in, misses outside, makes it 2 balls and no strikes to Velasco. Velasco, he's 2 for 2. He singled his last time up. Takes a pitch high and inside and is ahead in the count 3-0. Pitch. Lopez misses high and outside. Velasco, he'll draw the 4-pitch walk, and the Lawmen have their leadoff aboard. Velasco, he's stolen 5 bases on the season. He's been hit by pitch twice. So with 1 on and nobody out, that'll bring in Ryan Buckley. Buckley is 1 for 2. Hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. Buckley makes contact, drives it out towards left field, and it will be pulled down by O'Connor just outside the foul line for the first out of the inning.
Next up for the Lawmen, center fielder number 13. At the plate, number 1, Edwin Silverio.
So with 2 on and 1 away, that will bring up Edwin Silverio. Sorry, we were getting a few things caught up. He grounds out into center field. And here comes the run home. Velasco scores. It is an RBI single for Silverio. Well, the Lawmen are first pitch swinging here. They're not giving Lopez much of a chance. He's thrown just 7 pitches.
At the plate, number 34, Kevin Hammond.
And is already facing his 4th batter of the inning. Hammond takes a first pitch inside.
At the plate, number 31, Jake Bassel.
Okay. Lawmen lead at 16-10. Kane Carlos, he'll even the count at 1 on the pitch outside. Carlos 0 for 2. He walked on his last time up. Sorry for the slight delay. We were trying to get a few things caught up. Bases loaded with 1 away. Carlos fouls that one off to the right. He'll fall down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch well inside to Carlos. It evens the count at 2. Two-two delivery from Lopez. He'll get Carlos swinging for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Blake Coleman. Coleman, he hit a 3-run shot over the left field wall his last time up. He's 2 for 4 in the ball game, a double and a home run. So he's a single and a triple short of the cycle. Coleman, he'll take a pitch low for ball number 1. This game just over 2 hours old. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch is called strike. It evens the count at 1 to Coleman. The A's would sure like to get more. They've scored in every half inning. The pitch, Coleman swings and misses, and he'll fall down in the count 1 and 2. He was trying to go for the grand slam there, but didn't make contact. 1-2 pitch. Lopez looking in. He's thrown just 19 pitches in the inning. Coleman makes contact. It's fair down the right field line. 1 run scores. Here comes the second. The 3rd run is being held up at 3rd, and they'll send him home on the throw. So 3-run score on the 3 RBI double for Blake Coleman. So that'll bring up Mekhi Johnson now. Johnson, he's 1 for 4. The Lawmen lead it 19-10. The Cougars, they actually tied the ball game at 10 in the top of the 4th. The Lawmen have scored 9 unanswered so far. Pitch misses low to Johnson. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Johnson 1 for 4. He has struck out the last 2 times he's been at the plate. Pitch called strike. It'll even the count at 1. The A's have actually batted around in the inning. Johnson will send that one foul. It'll fall out of play to the right. He'll fall down in the count 1 and 2. 1 on and 2 away for the Lawmen here in the bottom of the 5th. 7 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and so far 5 in the 5th for the Lawmen. That is their 19 runs on 13 hits, 3 errors, 10 runs on 7 hits, and 2 errors for the Cougars. Johnson fouls that one off. The count remains 1 and 2. Lopez yanks one outside. It evens the count at 2. It's Deuces Wild across the top of the scoreboard. Coleman will go to third on the wild pitch. There is a pitcher warming up down in the bullpen for the Cougars. He'll induce a swing and a miss by Johnson, and that will end the inning. At the Lawmen score 5, they lead it 19-10. We're headed to the top of the 6th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Two and one to Carter Olick. Jaden Andrade's back on the mound for the Dodge City A's Lawmen. Pitch misses outside. Olick ahead in the count, 3-1. Haul on, he hit a single out into right field to lead off the inning. The Lawmen lead it 19-10. Olick grounds to the shortstop. They're to second for one. The throw to first in time. And a double play erases the leadoff single. And 2 away for the Denver Cougars here in the top of the 6th. A much-needed double play, and that brings up Finn O'Connor. O'Connor, he's at 2 for 3. He went down swinging his last time up. O'Connor, he takes a first pitch strike from Andrade. Makes contact, pops it up. It's headed out into right field, pulled down by Coleman, and that will end the inning. The Cougars go down unconventionally 1-2-3. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. The Lawmen lead at 19-10. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Isaiah Velasco leading off for the Lawmen. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Takes a pitch high from Lopez. He's ahead in the count 1-0. He's 2 for 2. He walked on his last time up. Take a pitch low and outside there and moves ahead 2-0. Delivery from Lopez. Misses low again and has Velasco ahead 3-0. Pitch called strike. Makes the count 3-1. Grounded back up the middle, and Swan can't get to it. It's a leadoff single for Velasco. That'll bring up Matt Perez. Perez is 0 for 1. He flew out his last time up. Perez takes a first pitch ball. The 1-0 pitch. A little outside. Throw down to second. Not in time. Two-0 pitch from Lopez. He'll miss inside. Perez ahead in the count, 3-0. Perez draws the 4-pitch walk, and that puts runners at first and second for the Lawmen to bring up Paxton Huff. Huff, he's 1 for 2. He singled the last time he was up. So nobody out, 2 runners on for the Lawmen. They lead at 19-10. Pitch is called strike, has Huff down in the count 0-1. Lopez misses inside. Nutter blocks it, keeps it ahead of him. It evens a count at 1. Called strike. Huff down in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. One, two, swung on and missed. Huff will go down on strikes. That is the first out of the inning, and that will bring in Edwin Silverio. Silverio, he's 2 for 3. He singled his last time up. So after tying the game at 10, the Cougars have given up 9 unanswered so far. Pitch is in for a strike to Silverio. He'll fall down in the count 0-1. Caught enough of the outer edge of the zone. Cougars have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Lopez will miss low. The A's Lawmen, they also have someone down in the bullpen. 1-1 delivery. Runner goes. It's a strike. The throw to third, it was close, but not in time, and that puts runners on the corners. Down in the count, 1-2 is Silverio. Pitch swung on and missed. He'll go down on strikes. That'll bring up Kevin Hammond. He is 1 for 2. Hammond singled his last time up. Bottom of the 6th, and we're approaching the 2.5 hour mark. Last couple of nights, the A's were finished at right around the 2.5 hour mark. Pitch low for ball number 1. Well, Lopez looking like he's pouting over the ball call. Grounds one right back up the middle. Oh, he was safe. Safe, and the A's score a run. The first baseman dropped it. So that puts the Lawmen ahead by 10. They lead it 20-10. They've scored in every half inning to bring up Jake Vassell. Vassell is 2 for 4, singled the last time he was up. Lopez misses outside for ball number 1. 1-0, low and inside. Makes it 2 balls and no strikes. Again, the A's doing damage with 2 outs. Pitch called strike. Counts 2-1 to Jake Vassell. Pitch grounded through on the right side. Here comes another run. It's bobbled by the right fielder. Runners on the corners, and 2 runs have scored. The Lawmen lead it 21-10. So that'll turn the lineup over. We're back at the top of the order. The Lawmen starting their 6th trip through the batting order. Back at the top of the order with Kane Carlos. He is 0 for 3. Went down swinging his last time up. Nutter blocks a pitch high and outside for ball number 1. Called strike to Carlos. It evens a count at 1. Pitch is fouled off. Moves Carlos down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch, Carlos pops it up. It's to the right side. It will fall foul. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kane Carlos, a .433 on-base percentage this season. 1-2 pitch again. Lopez misses outside. It's deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. The 2-2 pitch. So after tying the game at 10, the A's lawmen have come roaring back. The pitch goes foul. The count remains 2-2. The lawmen come roaring back. They've scored 11 unanswered so far. They lead at 21-10. Cougars tied it at 10 in the top of the fourth as they scored 8 runs in that inning. They have not scored since. Runner goes. The 2-2 pitch misses low. The count runs full to Kane Carlos. A payoff pitch. Carlos fouls it off to remain alive. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming to Kane. Count remains full. Carlos grounds it, fielded by the third baseman. They'll make the throw to first. It's wild, so an error will put Carlos on at third. He'll make it all the way to third on the throwing error. It scores 2 runs, and the lawmen lead it 23-10. That'll bring up Blake Coleman. Coleman's 3 for 5. Doubled the last time he was up. 2 doubles and a home run has been his night at the plate. Takes a pitch outside and is ahead in the count 1-0. Coleman, .432 on base percentage. Takes a pitch low and inside. Moves ahead in the count 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the Cougars are going to have to score at least 4 in the top of the 7th if they want to keep this game going. Coleman ahead in the count 3-0. The pitch misses low, and that is a 4-pitch walk that'll put runners on the corners. That'll prompt a mound visit from the Cougars head coach. They're going to make the call to the bullpen. We'll tell you about it when we come back. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Let's take this opportunity. We'll thank our triple sponsors, Conant Construction LLC, Wild Pines Washes Dodge City LLC, Tommy's Car Wash, First Avenue Dental PA, ITC Great Plains LLC, Henton Plumbing Service LLC, Medical Heights Dental Center PA, DC Appliance and Furniture, and Dodge City Eye Care. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. Ethan Jackson, number 21, he'll take over the mound for the Denver Cougars. Jackson from Monterey Peninsula College, comes from Carmel, California. Misses high to Makai Johnson. Johnson, he's 1 for 5 in the ball game. He went down on strikes his last time up. Johnson, a .462 on base percentage. The 1-0 pitch, high in, bounces right back at the catcher Nutter. Johnson ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Moved Coleman over to second on the wild pitch. The Cougars trying to get the elusive third out of the inning. The 2-0 pitch misses high. Johnson, ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. It is Ethan Jackson on the mound for the Denver Cougars. He works from the first base side of the rubber. The 3-0 pitch delivered is high, and it's a 4-pitch walk for Makai Johnson. That'll bring up Isaiah Velasco. Velasco, the A's have batted around, so this is the second at-bat of the inning for Isaiah. He singled to lead off the inning. Singled right back up the middle. He'll face a different pitcher this time around. Velasco, a .421 on base percentage. Takes a pitch for a strike and is down in the count 0-1. Bases loaded for the Lawmen. It's Carlos at third, Coleman at second, Johnson at first. The pitch, high and outside, and it evens a count at 1 to Velasco. A walk, a single, a walk, and a single has been the production from Isaiah Velasco tonight. The 1-1 pitch from Jackson. He'll miss high again. Velasco's ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Jackson, the 5th pitcher of the ball game for the Denver Cougars. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. The 2-2 pitch. It'll be called strike 3. It catches the outer edge of the zone, and that will end the inning. The A's Lawmen leave them loaded. We're headed to the top of the 7th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball.
Arthur Reese, Leah Kurz, Laura Miller, Blake Cook, Shauna Pennick, and Jamila Stewart. On my count, ready, set, go, 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 go! Make it loud! That's a photo finish.
It was a mom's race for the mustard, ketchup, and hot dog race, and a few other condiments there. Also, host family recognition night here at Cavalier Field. Jane Andrade will return to the mound for the Boot Hill Lawmen. Let's go ahead and take this opportunity. We'll thank our single sponsors, David H. Snap, Robert L. White, John F. Wilkinson, Gail L. Osmus, Mead Lumber Company Incorporated, Best Water of Southwest Kansas, and Mr. G's Liquor. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. Well, the A's, they've won the series over the Denver Cougars in league play. Beat the Denver Cougars 4-1. This is a non-league contest here tonight. Last two nights, the A's, 2 nights ago on Friday night, they won the game 9-2. Last night, they would dispatch the Cougars and win it 14-4. So Ian Laird leads off for the Denver Cougars. He fouls off the first pitch he sees. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Flew out his last time up. He comes up empty on the swing and is down in the count 0-2. O2 delivery is left outside by Andrade. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andrade, a dropped strike 3. And a man of the people, he gives the discounted beers for the next 15 minutes in the second to last ball game here at Cavalier Field for the regular season. That brings up the catcher, Jackson Nutter. Nutter 1 for 2. He singled his last time up. Head in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Andrade delivers. He comes outside. Will miss a little bit low and moves Nutter ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch called strike. 2-1 the count. Nutter swings and comes up empty. It evens the count at 2. The A's are trying to win their 15th game of the season. The pitch swung on and missed. That is 2 away. The Cougars, they could be down to their final out here. They have to score at least 4 if they want to keep this ball game going. That brings up Braden Gillum. Gillum, he's at 1 for 3. He was called out on offensive interference the last time he was at the plate. Pitch yanked outside, bounces in the opposite batter's box, and that makes Gillum ahead in the count 1-0. Pitch called strike. Evens the count at 1 to Gillum. Andrade now at 59 pitches in the ball game. He's thrown 35 of them for strikes. 1-1 fouled off. Gillum's down in the count 1-2. Well, this could be the final strike of the ball game. The pitch, it's yanked outside. Evens the count. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. 2-2 delivery. Inside and runs the count full. The payoff pitch from Andrade. Comes set, delivers, it's fouled back, and count remains full. A little shark music for the PA. Pitch misses outside, and that'll put a runner on. That'll bring in Dylan Whitfield. We're back at the top of the order for the Denver Cougars.
Next up, the leadoff, number 15, Dylan Whitfield.
Whitfield, he's 1 for 3. He went down on strikes his last time up. Got caught swinging. He'll make contact, sends it well foul and out of play. Falls down in the count 0-1. "33 combined runs have been scored in this ball game so far as Whitfield takes a called strike 2. The 0-2 pitch misses low and outside. Makes it 1-2. Delivery from Andrade. Runner goes. It's swung on. It'll be a drop strike 3. And they have runners on first and second. So that'll bring up Tyler Swan with 2 away. 2 on and 2 away for the Cougars. Swan is 0 for 4 in the ball game. Flew out his last time up. He's hit into a fielder's choice twice already. Takes a pitch high and inside for ball number 1. The 1-0. Chopped up the third base line. It goes foul and evens a count at 1. The 1-1 sent foul. It's fouled straight down, and Swan is down in the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch coming from Andrade. Now at 71 pitches in the ball game. Sent up the third base line. It is fair. Run is rounding third. The throw in. And they don't get the runner at third. So a run scores, and that puts runners at second and third, rather. That will bring up Caden Trujillo. Well, the Cougars break the unanswered streak after tying the game at 10. They gave up 13 and have now finally answered back. They trail 23-11. First pitch to Trujillo is fouled off. Trujillo down in the count 0-1. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. He flew out the last time he was up. Trujillo, the sixth batter of the inning, takes a pitch outside. Well, after getting 2 quick outs, 3 have reached safely and 1 has scored. The 1-1 fouled off. Trujillo down in the count 1-2. Andrade has worked ahead in counts. He's gotten the batters behind in the count, but some timely hitting and a walk here and there, and well, Things could get interesting. A check swing. It's deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. The 2-2 pitch. Grounded to the second baseman Silverio. They'll go to first. That'll be the final out of the ball game. The A's win it in run rule fashion. We'll take a step aside, come back with your final game wrap-up. The Lawmen are undefeated on the season, 6-0. We'll be back with your final game wrap-up after this. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Welcome back in to Cavalier for the last time against the Denver Cougars. The Lawmen win it in run rule fashion in 7 innings tonight. They take down the Cougars 23-11. Jaden Andrade will pick up the win on the mound for the Lawmen Dodge City A's. Nate Huiskin takes the loss for the Cougars. The A's, well, they would score early and score often. As they scored in every half inning, they would be at the plate. 7 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth, 4 in the sixth. 23 runs, 16 hits, 3 errors for the Dodge City A's. They would strand 8 runners. The Cougars, they score 2 in the second, 8 in the fourth, and 1 in the seventh. 11 runs on 9 hits, 3 errors they strand 9. The A's, they beat the Denver Cougars 5 out of 6 games. So they win the series overall 5-1. The Cougars, they won the very first game of the season in a slugfest. It was a high-scoring affair in the first 3 games between the A's and Cougars. Last night, a run rule victory. Tonight, another run rule victory for the Dodge City A's. And it is the 6th win of the season for the Boot Hill Lawmen, the alternate identity of your Dodge City A's. Let's take a look at our scoring summary for the game before we wrap this one up. The A's, as I said, they scored early and scored often. In the bottom of the first, the A's, they would have 2 quick outs. Makai Johnson in the 3-hole, he would single, followed by a Velasco walk, a Buckley single, a Paxton Huff walk. Buckley on his single would drive a run in. Huff would draw the walk. Edwin Silverio was hit by pitch. The Denver Cougars would make their first pitching change as their starter wouldn't even get out of the first inning. He went 2/3 of an inning. Kevin Hammond, he comes up, he's hit by pitch, followed by a Jake Vassell 2 RBI double. It is a fielder's choice that scores a run for Kane Carlos, and then a RBI double for Blake Coleman. So after 2 outs, the next 7 batters would score. The A's would send 12 to the plate in the bottom of the first. They would lead it and have a comfortable lead going into the second, as Isaiah Velasco would lead off with a single, followed by a Ryan Buckley walk. A pitching change for the Denver Cougars would get a strikeout. Edwin Silverio would hit a single that would score a run, and then Kevin Hammond would sac fly into center field to score another run for the Lawmen. Then in the third, Kane Carlos would lead off. He would be hit by pitch. He would come around and score on the Isaiah Velasco single. It was an RBI single for Velasco. And then Matt Perez would hit into a fielder's choice that would end the inning. Paxton Huff leads off in the 4th. The Cougars had tied it in the top of the 4th at 10, but the A's would not go unanswered. Paxton Huff would lead off. He would draw a walk, followed by a dropped strike 3 that would get Silverio on safely. He would drive a run in. He would drive Huff in. Kane Carlos would come up. He would draw a walk in a 3-run home run by Blake Coleman. It would put the A's back out in front, and they would not look back. In the 5th, Isaiah Velasco would lead off the inning. He would draw the walk, followed by a Paxton Huff single and an Edwin Silverio RBI single that scored a run. Kevin Hammond singles, Jake Vassell singles, he drives a run in. And then Blake Coleman hits a 3 RBI double. So that will do it for the 5th. Then in the 6th, Isaiah Velasco would once again lead off as the A's sent all 9 to the plate in the 5th. They would send 10 to the plate in the 6th. Velasco leads off. He singles, followed by a Matt Perez walk. Kevin Hammond would single. He drives in a run. Jake Vassell singles. He drives in a run. An error to Kane Carlos gets runners on at third. After the throwing error, well, he got on an error, and then a throwing error would move him over to third. And then a Blake Coleman walk. Makai Jones would draw the walk, but the A's would leave the bases loaded in the 6th. The A's win it 23-11. They've won their last 3 in a row over the Denver Cougars. They improved to 15-16 overall on the season. They have a day off tomorrow. They take to the road. They'll face the Game Day Angels. First pitch, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on YouTube. I am Justin Hergert, was alongside tonight and was assisted by Amare McGowan assisting on the live stream. For the entire A's board and organization, we say thank you for following along and for supporting Dodge City A's baseball. That'll wrap it up for this one. The A's win it in run rule fashion in 7 innings, 23-11 over the Denver Cougars. Until next time, we say farewell and good night. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball.